Hello everyone and welcome to the August update. I hope you are all well and have been enjoying the fine weather of late. I can't believe we are now midway through August and the nights are drawing in already. Life is back to some kind of normal now compared to our previous video updates and especially the ones at the start of lockdown. We know that life will not be normal for some time to come yet. Face masks and social distancing is here for a while, but at least we can do some of the nice things we enjoy doing, like going out for food again and of course getting our hair cut. Also in the last few days, beauty salons and eyelash venues have reopened, which I know will please some of you. Some of you may have been lucky enough as well to go abroad on holiday, others may be holidaying in the UK, and some of you I know have had their plans changed because of recent quarantine changes. Again, it just shows that old normal is still a long way away yet, and life may not be normal for some time, especially around travel. The virus is still out there, and as we know, is still causing issues. But let's look today how that's impacting on the wider economy and your portfolios. In terms of the financial side of things, July and August so far have thankfully been far less eventful than the previous months in terms of returns on your investments and the fluctuations in the markets. That's only comparing of course to the huge falls we saw back in March and then the sharp rise in April and May. Returns now are returning to normal and even the volatility has dropped in the recent weeks. You will remember my advice to you back in March about staying invested and don't panic. This graph here shows just how dangerous it would have been to have moved from investments to cash back in March and April when the markets were going down widely. The chart on the left shows the fall, the low point, and then the rapid bounce back in returns. Compare that to moving them from investments into cash to secure your capital and how little return you have earned since. Hopefully, that will be a good reminder for any future volatility we see in the future to keep invested. Over the last few weeks, the market seemed to be treading water with upward and similar downward movement seen on a regular basis. A lot of movement at the moment is driven by sentiment and also political news. There's a lot of political tensions out there between US and China, and already today talks about the trade have already fallen apart. There's lots of arguments taking place with blame going on, and we know Trump loves his Twitter feed. On top of that, we also have an election in the US, and again, if you have forgotten, Brexit discussions are also still ongoing. Lots of things in the system which is causing a lot of noise at the moment. These last few weeks we've also heard a lot about Trump and the US government trying to bring in more stimulus for US economy. As I record this video today, it is still trying to be gone through Congress. Again, with the uncertainty that this causes, the markets will have ripples in the days ahead until a way forward is agreed. The US job market, which is a real barometer for the world economy, is showing signs of improvement, with people being rehired again and already the number of unemployed falling rapidly. Economies around the world have been battered and bruised with the virus, but most now are easing lockdown in some form and opening up again. However, as seen here in the UK, there is a fear of a further wave returning as we head into the autumn, so we prepare for further restrictions possibly in the future. Most assume, however, that these will be localised lockdowns on virus hotspots as opposed to a full-blown nationwide lockdown as we saw before. We heard last week that our own Bank of England stand ready for further support to the economy if needed, also keeping interest rates at near zero, and the governor did suggest that the recovery was well underway and possibly not as severe as they thought it would be back in May. Again, there was also talk of further interest rates possibly around the corner if the economy needed it. With stamp duty being reduced, the housing market has kept busy and recording good levels of buying and selling, and pre-virus lockdown volumes being seen around many estate agents. Today, There was also a headline saying over £37 billion worth of transactions have been agreed in July in the housing market in the UK. The media would have reported last week the worst ever GDP figures, with a huge 20% plus fall in quarter two, following on from a negative quarter in quarter one. Now, you may know that if you have 2 quarters of negative GDP, that classes the economy as in recession, which is what the UK and many other countries now find themselves in. But look away from the negative side. We all know the media love bad news. The GDP fall was actually lower than forecast, and it's not surprising that for most of that quarter, none of us could spend anything apart from normal bills and shopping in supermarkets. Therefore, the impact of normal retail shops, cafes and restaurants and other places we spend our money being closed meant we kept our money in our pocket while those places earned no money whatsoever. The chart on the left here shows the GDP fall over the quarter, but look at the chart on the right. Early data already suggests that in recent weeks there's been a large bounce back in spending. A lot of pent-up demand helped by the Eat Out to Help Out scheme, and most sectors of the economy now open or planning to reopen. So what was the largest fall ever in GDP could be followed by the largest ever bounce in GDP, and we hear those figures in a few months' time. And let's hope then the media put that across in a positive way. Moving on now to your portfolios and the returns seen during the month of July. All portfolios apart from the aggressive portfolio showed positive returns during July, again building on the positive returns from the previous 3 months. The aggressive portfolio was impacted more by currency fluctuations, as they hold a lot more in overseas holdings. For clients now holding all these funds over the year, there are still low single-digit negative losses over the preceding 12 months. But compare that to the large falls seen earlier this year. Looking at some of the American markets, some of their stock market indexes over there, they are looking again to break biggest, highest levels ever seen in their stock market history. Remember, the portfolios contains leading investment managers who all invest in different asset areas. With almost £10 billion in the True Potential portfolios, these funds are spread across these main fund managers, with the current amount split as you can see in this chart here. True Potential speak to these managers on a regular basis, getting their feel for what is happening and how the portfolio should be moved and flexed on a regular basis. The investment managers talk still from home with each other frequently during the working day, and ensuring they stay on top of their investment markets. Aside from investments, what I have noticed over these last few months is many people now are not just tidying up their homes and gardens and sheds, but also tidying up their finances, making sure their finances are in good order, making sure their investments, their pensions, their ISAs and cash are all doing as well as they can be. In addition, many people are also looking at other important areas of finance. More people have been asking me to prepare their lasting powers of attorney to ensure that if they couldn't look after their money, that someone else could. More people are talking against me and taking forward prepaid funeral plans. This is a huge area now in the UK, with more and more people paying for their funerals in advance, rather than leaving it to their family to pay at a later date. The sad fact is we're all going to die, so we all need a funeral, and we all need to pay for it at some point. So by taking out a funeral plan now, you are in effect paying for it now. It gives you peace of mind to your spouse, your family, your children, that when the day comes, that it's all sorted out and it'd be much, much easier for them to finalise. Often in the past, people have kept cash in bank accounts to earn interest, and that's their funeral jar to pay for the funeral when it's needed. The sad fact is, with interest rates so low, the cost each year of funerals are going up about 8 or 9%. You would not get that anywhere near on any good savings account at the moment. So therefore, the cost of funerals are rising far, far in excess of what you'd earn on a savings account to pay for your funeral. I can help you again with both areas here, with the lasting powers of attorney or funeral plans. If you want some advice, please speak to me about it. I would even agree with what Martin Lewis, the guru on TV, says. He actually says lasting powers of attorney is the most important document anybody can have in their financial armoury. I've certainly seen the benefit of these. So again, if you haven't got one, please speak to me and I'm happy to have a chat with you about it. As ever, ignore the doom and gloom we hear on TV and the media about what's going on with the economy. We know it's not going to be pretty the next few weeks or months, but again, as ever, we will get through this. And hopefully again, this update today has been of help. I did say last month that we'll be doing this on a monthly basis. So again, I hope this has been of help to you. If there's any questions at all, feel free to contact me or email me. But otherwise, I shall see you again in September. Thank you.